Hi, I'm Jennifer and I'm so happy you're here because today I'm going to be putting together the easiest ever pecan pie. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. One of the quickest and most efficient ways to make a pecan pie is to just grab a store-bought pie crust. These pie crusts are so nice. I used to always only make my own pie crust. I started making pies when I was a young girl, and I would take them to church functions, and all of the older people would be so excited to have the homemade pies. However, I realized these store-bought pie crusts are really, really nice, and they're so efficient if you want to put together a pie in no time. And if you decorate the crust just right, no one will even know that it's a store-bought pie crust. So I put this in a foil pan because I'm going to be taking this to an event, and I don't want to have to worry about bringing a nice pie dish back home with me. I can just take this and leave it, and it'll be really good to go. Anyone can take the leftovers home or just throw out the empty pan. So I'm going to use the curled edge to my advantage. It curls under here. So I'm just going to go around and start rolling the entire thing under. This is the way the pie shell comes rolled up in the box. So I'll just take this edge and turn it under, just the way it naturally wants to go. If you have a lot extra, I have quite a bit extra here, and I can trim that off if that's going to be too much to turn under. I'm just going to take some kitchen shears and trim off the excess. That way we don't have a huge shell on one side and not much on the other. Make sure you have it really down in there so that the pie crust doesn't shrink up and pull your crust really short. Remember, it doesn't have to be nice and neat. The less neat it is, the more homemade the pie crust will look. We'll use that to our advantage as well. Okay, now that we have that in there, just go around and take 2 fingers and 1 finger here and just push your finger right in between. And this way you can make a nice decorative, simple edge. This goes together in just a couple of minutes, and the filling does too. I have my oven preheating to 350 degrees. We'll just set our pie crust aside as we put the filling together. I have a little more than a cup of pecans, and I'm going to get these in the food processor. I usually make my pecan pie with pecan halves, but this year I'm just going to use chopped pecans instead. I really like the way they lay out across the top of the pie. In this mixing bowl, I'm going to add 3 eggs. Now we'll add our Karo syrup. If you spray your mixing cup with cooking spray ahead of time, everything will pour out easily without sticking. All right, let's add in our vanilla and our sugar. I'll have this full recipe listed below so that you can easily find it and print it out or use it to make this recipe. And we're going to add in our melted butter. We'll just give this a real quick mix, and then it'll already be time to add in our pecans. I'm just going to mix in my pecans straight from the food processor. My pie shell is small, and so this way I'll have smaller pieces. My pecan halves were huge, and they were almost a little bit too big for a pecan pie because we don't want anyone to get bite after bite of a huge, big single pecan half. This way we'll have some nice little chopped up pecans in every bite. And now's the time to pour the filling right into our pie crust. Once you put your pecan filling in, check and see if you need to move any of the pecans around to make a nice even top. These are small pieces, so they found their way into place, and I didn't have to move anything. But with big halves, sometimes you need to just relocate them a little bit, just by moving them around with a small spatula. I've also put my pie crust on a baking sheet. This way, if anything bubbles up or boils over and goes up over the edge of the pie crust, which it shouldn't, but just in case, we don't want it to drip down and burn in the bottom of the oven. We'll put our pie in the oven for 40 to 45 minutes. Our pie just came out of the oven. It was in between 40 and 45 minutes. It looks wonderful. As you can see, the pecans look a little toasty and the crust has a beautiful golden brown. It still has a slight jiggle to it, but we'll leave it set to cool completely. I am so happy you're here. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.